So we just had a student recently pass their civil FE exam. This student had been trying, and finally, on their fifth try, they were able to pass it. So it's super inspiring, and I had the opportunity to interview this student. And so I wanted you to hear it first from their point of view on how they were able to overcome their challenges. So without further ado, let's get right into the interview.
Hey Luis, can you hear me?
Hey, yeah, can you hear me?
I can now. I think you turned your sound up. How are you today?
I'm tired, but we're good. Thanks God. And you?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good.
All right.
Um, I saw you start off the call with the smile. That's
Um,
always good, good to see. I know
yeah.
it's been a journey for you as far as passing your civil FE exam and with the few conversations that we've had. You've kind of you've gotten through it. So, I want to, I guess, start by I'm gonna let you introduce yourself, and kind of take me through because basically I want the people that's watching these videos or watching this interview to learn something about you and kind of learn about your journey, and hopefully it'll be inspirational to them as they're going through a similar journey. So, like, share your background, and share, how many times you took the test, and we'll kind of go from there.
Okay. Uh, as James said at the beginning, my name is Luis. I'm from the Dominican Republic, and I'm a recent. Should I say like the university that I graduated from, or
Yeah, you can. You can.
not? Okay. Yeah, I graduated from FIU, from Florida International University. Um, Honestly, at the beginning, when I started studying for the FE, I didn't even know that I was actually going to take it. I was just like studying because I thought that I had to.
Hmm.
Because like a month before graduating, I remember that my mom was telling me, if you don't get a job within 2 weeks, you're coming back. And I was just like, honestly, I gotta get my citizenship and I have to do more things with myself. So I just gotta, like stay for a little here and I don't know, do something for myself. I just decided to do that. After that, um, I remember that the first time that I booked an appointment to do the fee was around November 28th or 26th. I remember it back in 2023, I remember.
Okay.
And yeah, but like as I said, something that I had to learn it in the like in a hard way was not to be cocky, let's say it like that. Because I was I felt that I had like a really good understanding with areas like structures, transportation, geotech, statics, mechanics of materials, and I was just like, you know what? I'm not going to study anything about these areas, and I'm going
Hmm.
just to focus on the things that I saw, like I mean, the beginning of the bachelor's, like mathematics, statistics, and things like that. When I took the test for the first time, I felt that I was going to pass it. I remember like on my mom was like, "Mom, this was like super easy. I don't know why I feel like this." And
Hmm.
I remember that I was like going daily, but later, like one of my friends, they told me like, "Oh, you should wait." Like they upload the score like every single Wednesday,
Yep. Yep.
and I was like, "Okay, I'll just wait for it." I remember I was at work and I received the message of one of my friends that took it with me. He was like, "Yo, I failed it," and I was like, "Damn, that's crazy." And in my mind, I was like, "No, I'm going to pass
You're
this."
good. You're good. Yeah.
I remember that I was in my desk, and at that time, I was in this like cubicle, and everyone could see like what I was doing. I just didn't care what I was doing at the moment. I just entered to the NCS page and I just saw like that big red thingy like failed. I was like, oh. And then I just like stopped for a moment. I was like, what I did wrong, what should I do better?
Mm-hmm.
Quite frankly, skipping topics wasn't the best method. So I remember that I booked it for a second time for March. March. It wasn't like the first days of March. I don't remember quite well right now.
So
I decided
November, so you're saying November, uh,
around the end. I remember that it was like right after Thanksgiving. If I recall correctly, I think that
okay.
it was the
So
first
that,
time. The second time was the 3rd of March. Yeah, the 3rd of March of 2024.
yep. So you
And
gave yourself about 3 months, 3 to 4 months, and
yeah,
jump right back in. Okay. So
yeah.
in that period, what was different? What did you do different that in March of 2024?
Hey, if you're watching this video and you're like, man, it would really be nice to have someone work with me one on one to ensure that I pass this civil FE exam and basically help me with some of the concepts that are really tough. I do want to let you know that I am taking on new students. So all you have to do is head down in the description box below, fill out your information, and if it's a good fit, I would love to work one-on-one with you to help you pass your civil FE exam.
Me too.
Um, Honestly, now that I think about it now, I didn't like change a lot.
Okay.
To be quite honest, I use this because I was studying with a PPI to pass page.
Yep.
And what happened with me is that, I mean, the page is awesome, but it's like extremely hard.
Okay.
So the thing is that sometimes when I used to do exercises there, I just feel like discouraged because of how low I used to score on the practice test. I used to
Mm-hmm.
get like 40 something percent, 50 something percent. I was like, damn, like this is really bad, man.
Yep.
And I don't know, like I just kept going, but honestly, it also didn't help the fact that I have like a really tight work schedule. Like, I used to work from Monday to Thursday, but I used to wake up like at 5, and I used to go to work from 7 until 6:30. But like with the traffic here, I used to get it back here like at 8. So basically, I didn't have time to study. So
Okay.
I like
Hold on.
on
That's
my
that's
first and second try.
that's key. This is a key topic. Okay. So there are so many students who are facing that exact thing, right?
Yeah.
Well, not that exact thing, not to diminish what you're saying, but I can resonate with it. And I know students that I'm currently working with that they have similar schedules. Like the they have to go to work. Work is so demanding. And so people want to figure out where can they find time to study. How did you figure out, or what did you do in order to make sure that you still got that time in?
I quit my job. No, I'm not even, bro, I'm not even kidding. Honestly, I remember that I just felt like miserable at that job because first of all, I just wanted to do structures, man. Like honestly, I wanted to study civil engineering thinking that it was a structural engineering, but it wasn't like that. Then I learned that I had to do like these 4 years, then to do my master's. I was like, damn, like that really sucks, man. Like I have to do 4 years of like seeing like other areas besides structures, and then I have to do and see what I truly want. I was like, okay. Um, but yeah, that's something that looking now is something that if I could be in someone's position and if I'm seeing myself right now,
hmm
an advice I would say is to like rest properly. Like I don't know, try to study because at least me, I consider myself like a slow learner. So I have to really take my time for it.
hmm
And yeah, I mean, I went to my second job, well, to my last job. I was just like, hey, honestly, I don't think that the position that I'm currently in is like doing me good. I thought I was going to do something else, but quite frankly, it wasn't like that. It's not what I was expecting to. At the end of the day, I mean, fortunately for me, like we really had a good relationship, like my
Yep.
supervisor and I, and like the rest of the people.
Yeah.
So here was basically, I'll be like quite honest to you. He literally said this. We see that your performance is not what we were expecting. Um, but try to get another job to see if you can find something that you like better than this because we see that you don't like this. He told me straight like that. I
Okay.
was like, yeah, honestly, it's not
Good.
like what I was.
Good. So, okay.
And you know, like that because he was the first person who actually encouraged me to get a fee, but unfortunately, the work schedule and the way that I have to study is it wasn't even going to be compatible
Wow.
at all. So
That is very eye-opening because, but
yeah,
it proves a couple things. So in your case, okay, your priority, would you say your priority was getting your FE? Like that was number one priority, or do you think it just kind of worked out to where you said, "Hey, I'm just gonna free up some time, um, or I just need to move in a different direction," and it just the way the timing worked out, it was like, okay, now I can actually put time towards this test.
I will say both, but
Okay.
actually, if I have to like mandatory like pick one, it will be the fee. And I'll tell you now. I remember that the day that I was going to take the fee, I had a problem, so I just had to reschedule it, and I took it like on a Monday or something like that.
Hmm.
I took I took it and I had an interview that day for Friday, I remember. And I was talking to my who's currently is my supervisor.
Hmm.
He was describing me like what I was going to do and everything and yada yada. But he told me, but we need you to take the FE or have the FE within 6 months. And I was just like, okay, I'll get it. It wasn't like that. 2 weeks later, I find out that I failed, and apparently my current supervisor, he was talking to the CEO of the company, and he said like, yeah, he's going to pass the fee. And when I called him, I was like, hey, I failed again, and he was like, oh, okay, let's see how we are going to do this, and honestly. I didn't want to keep studying because I've been like studying for my entire life. I haven't had a vacation since God knows when, and I
Hmm.
was just like done. I was done with life. I was done like in every single aspect. I was losing myself physically and spiritually. Personally, since I've been since a young age, I've been having like this relationship with God.
Hmm.
Some people may not believe in him, but I do believe him. And I was just like feeling myself that I was like being more and more far away from him. So something that I will also take into consideration within this whole process is just like try not to lose yourself while you're studying because it can actually be really tedious, because I
Yeah.
mean sometimes it doesn't go out the way that you really want to, but at the end of the day, um, there's nothing you can do because it gets out of your control. I mean, if you study like in a certain way and you fail it, it's either because or you need to study more or it wasn't like your day. And also I've heard that now the way that they score the test is that they take like an average and the lower scores are the one who fails. And I don't know. That's like what I've heard about it.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, that's something that I really would take into consideration. Like if I don't know, if you don't believe in God, if you read cards or you believe in I don't know anything, like just try to stick with it as well.
So don't
So
lose
I felt
yourself
the
in
same.
the process.
Yeah, like me, I was like losing hair. I was planning on like leaving the country. I was like, man, F this. I want to
Yeah.
go back to my mom and my dad. And like that's also another thing that I think that was like really affecting me. It was the fact that I'm here by myself. I don't have like my mom, my dad, my brother, my cousins, like no one.
And how
I
far
have a
away are
girlfriend
they?
here.
How far away are they?
I'm in Miami, they're in the R, so by plane is like 2
4 hours?
hours.
2 hours. Okay.
No, 2 hours. Yeah, and the rest of my family, they are like in the northeast coast, around like 3 or 4 hours.
Okay.
But
But
yeah,
yeah, man, I can't imagine. I can't imagine. You're trying to do this on your own. Things aren't working out the way that you want them to be. The 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 job that you're in isn't going the way that you would have liked, and so now you're on a job search, and now you feel like you may have let somebody else down by not passing, right? So, okay, fast forward because I saw on LinkedIn that you passed on the first of 2025. So, um, walk
yeah,
walk me through what you did. Like, what was where was that transition of okay, finding yourself studying? What did you do differently to get you actually to pass or get you over the hump? Because you've had a lot of challenges so far in this story. So what actually did you do to kind of get yourself over the hump?
yeah. I mean, honestly, it's been crazy because like so like a highlight of my life, like the first few months that I was studying for FE, like me coming from a third world country, if they're going to scam you or they're going to rob you, they do it in your face. They point a gun at you, and that's it. Like they'll be like, "Give me your money." But no, they do it like through emails and things like that. Long story short, they sold from me $900. I had to pay rent and everything was going down. I was living in my girlfriend's ex house, so
You was going through it, my boy.
yeah, yeah, honestly. But something that I think that also really helped me besides like praying and things like that is just reading philosophy. There's a like type of philosophy called Stoicism. Basically, what it means is that, for example, let's imagine that this calculator is a TV control, and this TV control, if I'm watching something and I don't like that, if I have the power to change it, then I shouldn't get mad because I can change it.
Yeah.
But also, if the TV controller, someone else has it, and I cannot change the TV, the channel that they're watching right now, then I shouldn't get mad because that's out of my power.
Yep.
So
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the interview with Luis. I just wanted to take a second to let you know that if you are a student who is currently studying for your Civil FE exam and feels like you don't have the study material needed, or you would love some extra practice problems and some practice quizzes to ensure that you pass your Civil FE exam, I did want to let you know that I do have a course called FE Domination. And in that course, it has helped hundreds of students pass their Civil FE exam. Those who are looking to do it on their own, right? They can watch the videos, do the practice problems, do the practice quizzes, time themselves, and be able to knock it out, have all the material right there in one place. And so if that is you, make sure you head down in the description box below and check out that FE Domination course. Now, let's get back into the interview.
basically, what I was thinking in my mind, I just like tried to change my mindset, and I was just like, you know what? I cannot be mad at me because when I get mad at me, I'm just like I don't think properly. So I just try to. I have like a one-on-one rule. I call it like that. I have like a whole entire day for myself. I lock myself up. I think about things. I think about like why did this happen. If it's not like a logical reason, I can like process it. I
Hmm.
just leave it up to God, and I'm just like, you know what? Actually, I'm not going to kill myself thinking about this because They're just like wasting my energy and my time for it, and I can just take it to relax or do something else. So after I failed the second time, I remember that there was like advertisement of like PPI course, and I was like, I mean, maybe this might be a sign because I was even like I'm going through TikTok in the bathroom. I was just like, man, like for real. And I just decided to pay it, you know. It did help me a lot. The and also I did study like an excessive amount of hours, I would say so. Now being this new job, um, I booked it for September, uh, 28th of September. I remember I booked it. It was like
Okay.
a Friday, and I had from May, because I didn't study for April because I that was my birthday. I was just like, you know what, I'm going to take this whole month off and then like start from like all over again. So I had May, June, July,
Mm-hmm.
August, and like around 3 weeks of September. Actually, these 5 months, they went like the whole from mathematics onto construction engineering. And I was doing like daily exercises. I did a practice test. I did like 2 or 3 tests that they also give. And I felt like more confident this time because um I got like 67 or 72%. So I was like, maybe I could pass this time. I was like, okay, so maybe with the right resources, and now that I learned more things about this, I may pass this time. But it wasn't like that. So that's when, moving forward to October or at the beginning of October, so, or the middle of October, I remember that you were like, after like all before this happened. I remember that I saw some videos of you YouTube. I don't even remember like what video. I think it was regarding transportation or something like that.
Okay.
I saw some videos of you. I was just like, okay, I know that he's a teacher, but like I'm not going to pay more money because I'm tired, man. And then I was like, you know what? Actually, let me get into his you because you did like an explanation of your like whole process, how you did this, blah blah blah. And I
Blah
was
blah blah.
at, at first I didn't like pay the money. I was just like thinking through it. I was just like I took that whole week off weekend, and I was just like, should I or shouldn't I? Because I don't know if this will be like a scam, like what happened to me. And I was just like, you know what? Actually, he may offer like touring sessions, and certainly I may need those things. And I remember that then I texted you through email like on a Monday noon or that I don't know, on a
Mm-hmm.
Monday or Tuesday. I texted you. I remember that you replied to me back. You were like, "Hey Luis, thank you for texting me. Blah, blah, blah. I'll just open this for you because I said interested and for it." And that's when you and I we met. So this time, you people that are watching me right now, listen really well to this. So far I've said, don't get cocky. Don't get cocky, right?
Yep.
Rest well. Don't lose yourself.
Yep.
And try to give yourself some rest as well, physically and mentally speaking.
Yep.
Now, out of these 4 things that I mentioned, guess which I didn't do all 4 of them because I'm stubborn. So, what is my whole purpose of this? Don't be a stubborn as well, because
Mm.
if you're stubborn, you are going to keep sabotage yourself. And I remember the first time that I decided to watch your videos when I got like the course.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, okay, I'm just going to skip these videos. I'm going to start with mathematics. Okay. And then I remember that I booked a 30 session with you, and you were like, okay, so a screen share, you're seeing right now. Let's do like a couple of exercises.
Yep.
I remember it was the equation of a circle, two derivatives, and something else. I don't remember. And I was like, okay, this is easy.
Yep.
I was like doing my questions, blah, blah, blah. I was like talking, walking you through. And something that I was like really confident about, and I've been always confident about, is that I really had a good manage of the handbook because I've been studying like since 2023, you know? But it's been like almost a whole year studying for the FE. So at this time, I really know the handbook. So I remember that you acknowledged that, but there's something that it literally caught me off guard because also my supervisor he told me that before, but you know I just didn't pay attention.
Yep.
And you were like, you know, Luis, you had like a really good understanding of the handbook. You know what they are asking you, but your problem is that you go way too fast and you get too cocky. I remember that you said those exact words. I was just like, huh? And then you were like, you see this? You have so the center is K and H, and then you wrote it this way, and it wasn't like this, and you missed the sign because you were going so fast. And then I started thinking, and going through that. And I was just like, actually, he may be right because if my supervisor says that and he's saying that, it's because I have a problem. So I was just like, okay, I'll try this in a different way. So I just started doing like a bunch of exercises. And at this point, I wasn't even trying myself, or I wasn't even training myself, sorry, to see how good I manage the handbook, how good I manage the topics. It was how good can I read the questions. All this year, all these months, my only problem I've noticed is that I didn't read through the question because I remember my first time taking it, the second time and third time. When I see, for example, the topic that I felt the most comfortable with was mechanics of materials. And I've been and like I only read like the three first words and the last word, and I remember that it says like, what is the stress? What is
Yep.
the stress? Now, is that the maximum stress or the minimum stress or the
Yep.
principal stress? Because it's different. And I was like, okay. And for me, I was just like straight up like square root of parentheses sigma x plus sigma y over 2 square root plus tau to the second power, you know?
Yep.
And I was just going like that because I was like, if I'm going to keep reading these things, I'm going to lose a lot of time. So I just try to go fast, fast.
Yeah, right.
So that was my problem. Then I realized I don't read through the problems and I go way too fast. I know what I'm doing. I'm
Yep.
aware of what I'm doing. It's just I don't pay attention to the little details. And man, let me tell you, once I learned how to like properly take my time and read and like actually and that's another thing that I like was um putting myself into. It was like I used to put myself voluntarily like in a situation that I struggle myself, that I feel uncomfortable. So I know how to handle things under pressure. And honestly, I don't recommend this to anyone because I'm just like really hard on myself. Like I think that I have like the most toxic relationship that you can think of. I used to start from 7 until 1, and then that weekend I used to, because the normal thing to do is just you do like one practice test, one day of the weekend, and then like you study. No, what I did 40 questions Friday. I did a practice test on Saturday. I saw what I did wrong that Saturday, and I study again on Sunday. And then I saw what I did wrong. I was just like, okay, so I did this, this, and this, and this. So honestly, that part of the way that I used to study, that works for me. But honestly, I don't even recommend it for myself. I just do it because like this. And I even remember I started like all of my thoughts that I used to have before were like coming back because I used to see like a lot of people like passing their feet, and I wasn't feeling like envious or anything. Like I was like generally I was happy for them. I was just
Right,
like,
right.
wow, like
Right,
I'm
yeah,
really, but it's just like a mental struggle as well. And that's why I say like you need to actually train your mind. Because when you see a lot of people like going forward that start with you and you see that yourself like stuck in the same place and you cannot go forward, that actually like adds more weight.
Hey, if you're watching this video and you're like, man, it would really be nice to have someone work with me one on one to ensure that I pass this civil FE exam and basically help me with some of the concepts that are really tough, I do want to let you know that I am taking on new students. So all you have to do is head down in the description box below, fill out your information, and if it's a good fit, I would love to work one-on-one with you to help you pass your civil FE exam.
Than the one that you're already putting yourself to.
hmm
So I was like I deleted Instagram, social media. I isolated myself. I was like I'm not doing this anymore, and I just like started like getting focused. And also thankfully I had like a couple of people that passed me like more practice tests that they did. I used to do it, and I was just
hmm
like I have to read through it. And when I finished, like, because I used to time myself, and I remember that I always used to finish and like within 4 hours and 15 minutes to 5 hours. So I have like around 25 or 30 minutes left. And I was just like, no, I'm going through the second portion again, like the whole entire portion. And I
Yep.
did really cut some things that I was just um that because I thought that it was easy and I was like going to my old habits like I read the three first words and the last word
Yep.
and that's it. No, I was like, no, hold up, I'm doing this right. So I went to every single question and I was like, okay, I feel comfortable now. And I remember like I the two PPI practice tests that I did, I got like 78 and 83. Your test I got a 92 out of 110. I got like a 78 or out of 100 questions, which was like 78%. So I was within the range of 72 questions
hmm
to 78 questions right. And actually, if they say that, and me that I've taken the FE like 3 times already, I was like, you know what? This is not as hard the FE, but I feel comfortable enough that I'm reading the questions properly, and
Yeah.
I'm even though I'm reading the questions properly, and I still like I'm wasting more time. It's not like I don't have any time of it. Like I still like time was not a problem at all. So I
And
was like, you know what? I just like
that's the thing that I'm like, I think when we got on a call together, I'm like, okay, I like to hear the story, and then I like to see, okay, what may be some of the problem areas. And I'm like, you're telling me you're fast. I'm seeing that you're fast. I'm like, that's not the thing. And that time is a big issue for some people, but then I'm like, okay, maybe he's not putting in enough work into, the problems, putting enough like doing enough practice. Some people see problems, all those hundreds of problems, and they're like, I'll do a few and kind of be done with it. But you were putting in the extra work to get through the problems. So I'm like, what's the issue? Because normally, I mean that those are big ones, and then like or it's navigating the handbook. And so once I saw that you did all those things, you were one of the few people that I have not like not to call you out or anything, but I hadn't seen like as far as problems and there being issues with students, that being the thing to get them over the hump. And that's why I think this is good for the audience to see there's different problem areas that you're gonna have, but time wasn't the issue in your case. It was just how fast you were processing, and you were processing way faster than what you needed to be. And you learned and I applaud you for this. You learned to, hey, I'm going to slow down. and actually take in and figure out, okay, let me accept the criticism. Because I think that that speaks volume to you to be able to say, okay, people are saying something. Let me actually uh, be open enough to hear what they're saying and try to change my actions so that I can get the results that I want. So I think I didn't want to take up, too much of your time. I know we've been going 30 minutes. I literally said 30 minutes and you were willing to
Yeah,
just jump on
it's
the
fine.
call
Yeah.
immediately, and I'm appreciative. Is there any, because I think we got like maybe 6 minutes left. Is there anything else that you would like to share with students as they're studying, just little tips. I know you shared a lot already, but any like last minute things that you think would be helpful for a current student that's studying?
Yeah. So, um, long story short, I booked the FE to I was supposed to take it at 19th of December.
Okay.
I was planning on going. I was thinking of going to Christmas and New Year's with my mom and my dad because I haven't seen them since like August, right? And
Yep.
I was like, okay, so I have all of these. I booked the flight and everything, and I was really sure because at first I did it like I first when I failed the test back in September, I booked it for January because I didn't see any like availability within December, and I was like kept going like every 5 hours of every single day until I found the 19th. I was just like, okay, this is for me. I
Yeah.
booked it, I studied, and I was really sure that I was supposed to take it for 2 p.m. But when I went to the place, I went even like earlier than 2. I went like at 1:20 and they were like, "You were supposed to take it at 8. We're gonna give you the test right now." And man, like I'm telling you, and like a couple of days before, prior that day, when I was supposed to take that fee, I was crying. I was just like, because I couldn't handle the stress anymore. I was just like stressing myself out. But like after that day that I cried, I felt like numb. I didn't care about anything. I didn't worry about anything. I just prayed to God, and I just girlfriend, she used to ask me, "Hey, I don't care.
So
Whatever you like about."
you broke up a little bit, Luis.
Hello?
So
Okay.
you're telling me that you had how like so you had missed basically half. You were how many hours late to the test?
5, almost 6 hours. Yeah,
S-
almost 6 hours.
Well, the test is 6 hours, so is was it so they said you were supposed to be there at 8 and you got there at 1?
Yeah, because it's what I told you. I truly believe that I booked it at 2, but when I went there, they told me when I did the rescheduling, there was like a problem, and it ended up putting myself into like at 8, and I was like, that's weird.
So
But hey, like I was even trying to negotiate with the people there. It was like a mess with the system. And I was at the end of the day, I was just like trying to negotiate with them. I was just like, hey, call me an hour off. And in my mind, I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I need to do it. And they were just like, hey, like there's no way. If it was up to us, we will do it for you, but we can actually do it. And I
so
was like, okay. I locked myself up. I did the one-on-one rule. I was like, I'm not going back to the R. I'm not going back to the R until I take this test. I don't care if I have to miss years. No, I was like straight for real. I was super pissed off at myself. I took that day off. I was like, brother, I don't even want. I don't know. I was thinking about everything. And I was just like, you know what? Actually, I'm leaving this up to God. And my mom had a dream, but I'm not going to tell that dream because it's going to take a lot of time. So basically, to sum all this up, um, I had a feeling. I was like, I know that for a fact there's going to be an space available for me to take it next week. I kept going. I went on Saturday. Sunday at night, I found it for the 26th of December. I was like, okay. I called my mom, I called my girlfriend, and after I finished like having dinner, gone. And I was like, you know what? It's going to happen again. I believe.
So you didn't book it. So you
I didn't
didn't.
book it. So I was talking and cleaning and eating like a dumbass. But I still believe in myself, you know? I was like, you know what? Actually, not like truly, I felt something that there was something like just waiting for the right moment, you'll get it. I was just like, okay, I just trust. I prayed. I was like, God, if it is for me and I'm going to pass it, you're going to give me a sign. I went to sleep the day. I woke up in the morning that Monday 23rd, and I remember like at 10 or 11 p.m. I saw it. I didn't even call my girlfriend. I was like, Mom, I'm going to buy it. I'm going to book it. Did it. And I remember that like one of my friends, she gave me like this handbook, had 800 problems, and guess what it did?
Went
I
off.
didn't go through the 800s, but I was like around. I was around 650 questions within 2 days. I was like, you know what? I'm hating this book. I'm doing this. And the day of the test, I felt normal honestly. Because of what I told you before. I've took it so many times that honestly, if I know that I have a story, no one could. I don't want to sound cocky, but I know that no one on earth could have studied more than me for our test that day. I was like, there's no way that I'm going to fail this.
Yeah.
There's no way. And if I fail this, I'm not going back. I'm leaving my car here. I'm leaving everything. And I was like, I'm doing this. And I remember that I finished the first portion. I saw that I had like 2 hours, no, like 3 hours and 20 minutes left. I was like, okay, I have some time. I covered some exercises that I did wrong because of what I told you. I was just like, you know what? Actually, let me take my time. I did it, and I just read the questions properly. I took my time. I didn't even think about the time that much.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying the interview with Luis. I just wanted to take a second to let you know that if you are a student who is currently studying for your Civil FE exam and feels like you don't have the study material needed, or you would love some extra practice problems and some practice quizzes to ensure that you pass your Civil FE exam, I did want to let you know that I do have a course called FE Domination, and in that course, it has helped hundreds of students pass their Civil FE exam. Those who are looking to do it on their own, right? They can watch the videos, do the practice problems, do the practice quizzes, time themselves, and be able to knock it out, have all the material right there in one place. And so if that is you, make sure you head down in the description box below and check out that FE Domination course. Now, let's get back into the interview.
Yeah.
I didn't feel anything. I didn't feel pressure.
Was it easy? Did it feel easy?
I don't want to sound cocky, but yeah,
Yeah, it should
it felt
have.
easy. Yeah,
I mean it's
yeah,
okay. It's okay for it to feel it should have felt easy. I just think
yeah. And ironically, you remember that I told you that one of my weakest areas was engineering economics, dynamics, and construction. And it
mhm.
was mainly because of the. It wasn't a problem of the math behind it. It was just like a language barrier. But like
Okay.
ironically enough, none of the questions that I know that I used to have trouble with didn't appear. And
Ironically.
ironically, yeah, I know, right? And I was just like, brother, like actually, this might be like, you know? And I don't know, like I left the test center and I remember that when I was about to finish the test, I had like 15 minutes left and I was like, no, I'm leaving this test at least with 30 seconds left. And I read the second portion again, like from the 57th question until the 110th. And I caught like some mistakes as well. And I just like took my time. I didn't even care about the time itself. And me personally, it's kind of, you know, a trouble for it because I don't know if I have ADHD. I just know that there's a lot of things going in my head. Like I'm doing math, but I'm like singing a song in my head. but at the same time, I'm doing like, this should be go here, and I think a lot of things at the same time. So I was just like I was like trying to think about music and things like that, try to distract myself and don't think about the pressure because I know that once I start like getting anxious and things like that, I won't be able to do the things how I'm supposed to do it. And yeah, and I had like a little flashback within, like in the movies when you have like this time space that you actually think slower, but you know,
Yeah.
I remember my supervisor telling me, read the details. You came into my head, read slowly, read carefully, take your time. And I remember that there was like one of my friends, he told me like, brother, like just take your time, don't think about the time. I finished the FE with 9 seconds left. So you know what? Just try to make sure that you do things right. Because
Yeah.
it's better for you to do things right than doing things quick and doing everything wrong, which
Yeah.
that was what I was doing.
Mm.
And yeah, the next day I left to my country. I drank a lot. I ate a lot. I received New Year's with my mom and my dad. I was just like, I remember that I even put like a nice shirt, like a pan. I was like manifesting, like, oh, please, please, I just want to pass this, man. And I woke up that day, the Wednesday or
Yeah.
last week. I woke up at 7. I was like, man, it should be 6 here because in the yard, there's like the time zone is like an extra hour
I
from
said, okay.
here.
Okay.
So I was like, man, like, and then I woke up like at 11 and I saw like a bunch of emails, but like I saw like the NCES like your core are like in the page. I was like, oh, okay. And then I first like I brushed my teeth and everything, and then I looked at it. I first I prayed. I was like, God, please, please, please. And then I opened the page, and I was like even scared to see. I was like, uh, uh, and then I saw the pass, and and you see when people say like my mouth like literally opened itself. That happened to me. I never had a clue what was that supposed to mean, but I was like, whoa. And
Yeah.
then I remember that my dad he had like kind of a hangover. I just like opened the door. My mom
Yeah.
was taking a shower. I like turned on the light, and my dad he some I was like done. Like I was like pa is daddy in Spanish. I was like, hey, I passed the test, and hello.
I think you went
Okay.
in and out. You said
So
you told your dad that you passed the
yeah, I
passed the
told my
test.
dad I passed. I told my dad I passed, and he was like, "Huh?" I was like, "I passed," and he was like, "Oh," and like he ran to me, he hugged me, and I've never understood Joy's tears of joy
Hmm.
until that moment that he hugged me, because I was like, "Man, this how Rocky Balboa must have finished after like, beating the shit out of the Draco." I was like, "Damn!" Like. Man,
Yeah.
like
It's
I
a
even
good
feel
feeling
like uh,
because you had to overcome all the stuff.
my mom was in the middle of the shower. My mom was in the middle of the shower and she just like ran out of it, hugged me, and yeah, that was it. That
So
was my little.
so a lot of falling, feeling like you're not winning, feeling like things are not going well, to all climb up the hill and get to the top. It's super exciting to hear your story. I'm inspired by it. The stuff that you mentioned about uh changing your mindset. I'm all about some of those things. I don't know if you've read Atomic Habits, but
No, I've
it's
heard better, but
really good book, similar to that about changing your habits, your mindset, those type of things. So, story has been inspiring. I'm glad that I've I could be a small piece in that journey. And I want to know now, um, how have things been as far as your credentials? Is that is the company? Well, you don't have to speak too much on the company. How are you feeling about the credentials, and what have you felt now that you've passed? What are some of the are there any other opportunities that you've kind of looked into? Do you just feel
No,
confident
um,
just in yourself now, or what?
I feel I feel good where I'm at,
Yep.
and I want to stay here because they've been always like trying to figure out how they can accommodate me for my study schedule and all about so I could pass the FE. They really helped me, supported me. And
Yep.
I was like, I feel like I would betray them. I just I don't know. I wouldn't do that to them. I have like a really good relationship with my supervisors.
Well,
And honestly,
not getting into that realm,
okay.
just more of were you able to tell your boss or whoever that you passed? Were they excited for you? Like, how
Oh
did
yeah.
that? Okay.
Yeah. I just know one person, which is my like the person I work the most with, which is my direct supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
He was really happy for me, and I could feel it in his voice that he was like, "Man, finally!" Because I didn't want to go to the whole process of interviewing another guy, seeing if he's like up to it.
Yep, yep.
So he felt like really good. Yeah,
Good. Good. I think so. I think having your FE and being able to pass it is a different journey for everybody.
yeah,
But it's exciting. So I really appreciate you for taking out some of your time. When I messaged you, I was like, it's only gonna be 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, but
no,
your story was much more than that, and I'm glad that people listening can hear it. I'm glad I was able to hear it. And I'm excited for your journey or whatever's to follow. Do you know if you want to do your PE, or you're just right now
I'm
you're
doing PE. I'm
okay.
doing my PE. I'm a stubborn. I'm doing my structural PE.
Oh my
And
gosh.
and when
Just
I pass it, I'll text you. I'll be like, man, I'm done with this. I'm also like planning to start my master's.
okay.
Hopefully, if God want me to. I'm supposed to start by May, so I'm supposed to do my master's in structure. So
Okay. Yeah, I'm staying far away from you when it comes to structural, but I'm still rooting for you. I'm currently studying for my water resources. So I was gonna see if you were doing water resources and environmental, but you're doing structural, which makes
nah, good luck with
sense.
that.
So well, good luck to you. And definitely let's stay in contact. I think it's really good that we have, more. The goal is just to have more and more students to pass. And like when we talked, I was like, I was kind of being a butthole a little bit as far as just letting you know, hey, you gotta kind of not be cocky. I was just trying to find what was wrong so that we could get you over the hump. And now we can look back at this and laugh. So. I'm really glad and I really appreciate you for taking some time to share this with other students. So
Yeah,
hope you enjoy the rest of your night. It's late. It's I don't even know. I was about to ask that. It's not
he's
snowing. It's probably not
he's
snowing your way.
he's 10:30 for Ocean. The computer is going to like
It's about to die.
going to yeah. Ah,
Well, yeah, that's my cue, your cue to enjoy the rest of your night, man. And we'll stay in touch.
thank you, James. I hope that I could have been like of help with my advices to people, and I hope that they don't forget the advices that I was talking about with you.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, you heard my situations. I didn't have it like I didn't have a really nice path, but I was able to do it. And there's people that have it like 10 times worse than me. That's a reality.
Yep.
So I don't know. just push through it, and eventually, I don't know, you pass. And
You're
if you
gonna
do
pass.
pass, you're going to pass. Study more and stop whining. I
Yep.
mean, yeah,
Yeah. Sometimes you need tough love, but you will end up passing. So yeah, I really appreciate it, and I'm hoping that you enjoy the rest of your night. It's late here, about to get into bed.
yeah.
So you take care. You take care.
Okay, thank you, James.
All right,
Same.
thanks. Bye bye.
Hey, if you're watching this video and you're like, man, it would really be nice to have someone work with me one-on-one to ensure that I pass this civil FE exam and basically help me with some of the concepts that are really tough, I do want to let you know that I am taking on new students. So all you have to do is head down in the description box below, fill out your information, and if it's a good fit, I would love to work one-on-one with you to help you pass your civil FE exam.